Have you ever had a dream that somehow crossed over into the real world? What about a nightmare? A horrifying experience that will never leave your memory for as long as you... Oops. Getting a little ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. I remember I was 6 years old and my mother had just tucked me into bed. At that time, I had been experiencing fits of sleep paralysis, sometimes happening several times a night. I had no idea why they were happening, nor did I tell anyone about them. I just played it off as if everything was fine. For some reason, I thought that if I told someone about the random fits, I would get in trouble. A child's logic, am I right? Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. My mom had just tucked me in that night, and as she was leaving, she flicked on my blue dolphin nightlight and shut the door. I always sleep with my door closed, so it wasn't really a problem. And for the first time in weeks, I fell fast asleep. Okay, so have you ever, been dreaming and you just know it's a dream? That's the feeling I felt when I opened my eyes and saw my room. Illuminated blue, like my dolphin lamp had always done for me. My door shut, with myself tightly wrapped in my Virginia Tech comforter. Only, something was off. Just as I had come to terms that this was going to be the most boring dream ever, my bathroom light flicked on. I knew it was my bathroom light because it had made that echo on the tile wall that was very distinct and only belonged to my bathroom light switch. I saw a shadow move through the light that was under my door. This told me that someone had walked into my bathroom. Suddenly I heard a distinct male voice coming from the mirrored area of my bathroom, as if the person talking was, primping himself.
Hello there.
He said in a cheerful voice.
Do you like making friends?
Do I like making friends? That's a weird question to ask, I thought to myself. But before I could answer with anything, I got the feeling that maybe I shouldn't. For a little while he said absolutely nothing, but I could hear him picking up my brush and then setting down a hat. I could hear him leaning against the counter, as if he was making faces in the mirror. At this point I began getting, flashes of what my mind decided he would look like. I saw a tall man in a gray suit, cape, and a very tall top hat. He was pale, with sharp teeth, and he had bright yellow eyes that reminded me of a cat without pupils. After hours of thinking about those eyes, he spoke once more.
You see, there are 2 conditions you have to agree to in order to become my friend.
His voice at this point was beyond anything I had ever heard. It scared me to the point where I began to tremble and shake. What are the conditions? I asked. I could tell he was smiling when he said,
Well, first, you have to promise to love me forever.
The light in the bathroom flicked off, and I heard him laugh. I tightened the grip on my comforter. And the second? I asked. Suddenly I heard loud footsteps outside my room, and the door came open with a loud slam. I saw his yellow eyes as he screamed at me.
You can never leave!
He ran faster than anything I'd ever seen, and he climbed on my bed, ripping my covers out of my hands. I awoke from my horrible nightmare to see his yellow eyes still staring at me, and my blue room, with my door wide open, and my covers on the other side of the bed. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. That's when I felt him put his knees on my thighs and grab my wrists tightly. I thrashed wildly, trying to escape, but I couldn't. I couldn't even squeak. I just kicked with my mouth wide open, attempting to say, "Help!" Just as I thought I was going to die. his eyes began to fade away. His grip loosened and his knees lifted, and as his eyes were almost gone, I swore I heard him innocently say the words,
"Still no friends."
Once I was able to move and speak again, I ran to my mom's room. I told her what happened, but she, of course, didn't believe me and sent me back to my room. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was scared. No. I couldn't sleep because I knew what it was like not to have friends, and how hard it was to make them. I kept wondering how hard a ghost, or whatever that was, must try before it can make a friend. And I began to weep. I spoke softly to myself. He must be so lonely. After that night, I never had any sleep paralysis issues ever again. I can't help but wonder aloud, though. What if I had agreed to his friendship?